What you're about to hear might shock you. One of Kenya's most beloved entertainers just broke down in tears, fearing for his very life. Oga Obinna, the man who has made millions laugh across East Africa, is now crying out for help in what could be one of the most disturbing stories to emerge from Kenyan entertainment industry this year. And what he has revealed on Instagram has left his fans, celebrities and political observers stunned. Just going through his page a few minutes ago, Oga Obinna has left this shocking statement. Obina TV Studios has come to learn that certain leaders within ODM have paid goons to harm Oga Obinna as he attends the burial of the late Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga in Bondo this Sunday. Oga Obinna has always condemned all forms of violence in the strongest terms. He stands for dialogues, understanding and accommodation of different political opinions. We call for peace and understanding while honoring this solemn event. We urge the Kenya Police Service and the DCI to heighten vigilance and security and investigate these threats promptly to protect all involved. Let us commemorate Honorable Odinga peacefully. I am talking about a story that involves alleged death threats, political manipulation and a comedian who might have crossed invisible lines that some powerful people never wanted to cross. And this is not just entertainment news anymore. This is about the safety of someone who dared to speak truth to power and consequences that have followed. But before we dive deep into what Oga Obinna has revealed and why his life might be in danger, let me ask you something. Have you ever wondered what happens when a comedian becomes too popular, too influential and maybe too honest about the wrong people? Well, you're about to find out, because Oga Obinna's story is a perfect example of how quickly fame can turn into fear. For those who don't know Oga Obinna is the man who started from a humble beginning, built an entertainment empire that spans radio, television and digital platforms. And he has become one of the most recognized faces in the Kenyan media. But Obinna isn't just a comedian who tells jokes. He has become something more powerful and perhaps more dangerous in the eyes of some people. He has become a voice that millions listen to, a personality who influences opinions, and someone who is not afraid to comment on social media and political issues. The Instagram post that has sent shockwaves through social media isn't just his usual funny content or behind-the-scenes footage from his studios. Instead, it is a desperate cry for help from a man who genuinely believes that his life is in danger. Through tears, Obinna has shared what he described as shocking intelligence that had reached his team at Oga Obinna TV Studios. According to the statement from his media house, they have learned that certain leaders within the Orange Democratic Movement, commonly known as ODM, has allegedly paid individuals to harm Obinna. But here is where it gets even more specific and frightening. The alleged threat wasn't just a general intimidation. It was targeted at a very specific event, a very specific time and a very specific place. The information has suggested that all these alleged goons were planning to harm Obinna as he attended what is described as the burial of the late Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga in Bondo, which is scheduled for Sunday. Now, I need to pause here because there is something that doesn't quite add up in this timeline, and it's important we address it. As of the time that this story emerged, Raila Odinga, the veteran politician and ODM leader, was very much alive and active in politics. This discrepancy raises several questions. Was this information based on false intelligence? Was someone spreading disinformation, or was someone trying to create panic and confusion? Or was there some other event or context that got mixed up in the transmission of this threatening message? The confusion around this detail doesn't diminish the very real fear that Obinna has been experiencing, but it does not add another layer of complexity to an already disturbing situation. What we do know for certain is that Obinna has taken this threat seriously enough to break down emotionally on social media and reach out to law enforcement agencies. His statement specifically called upon the Kenya Police Service and the Directorate of Criminal Investigation, known as the DCI, to heighten vigilance and security. And this wasn't a public stunt or a marketing gimmick. This was a man genuinely fearing for his safety. Throughout his career, Oga Obinna has been known for condemning violence in all forms. He has built his brand on positivity, entertainment, and bringing joy to people's lives. The idea that he would become a target of violence seems to go against everything he represents, but that is exactly what makes his story so troubling and why it is resonating with so many people. The timing of these alleged threats is particularly interesting. When you consider the political climate in Kenya, the country has a complex political landscape where media personalities, especially those with large followings, often find themselves walking a tightrope between entertainment and political commentary. And what makes Oga Obinna's situation even more concerning is how specific the threat allegedly was, and this wasn't a vague intimidation tactic or general harassment. According to the information his studio received, there was a specific plan which involved specific people and targeted at a specific event. The response from Oga Obinna's fanbase has been immediate and passionate. Social media platforms have lit up with messages of support, demands for protection and calls for investigation. Hashtags supporting the comedian have begun trending, and fellow entertainers have started speaking out about the dangers that media personalities face when they become too influential or too outspoken. The incident also highlights a broader issue within Kenya's entertainment industry and society as a whole. The fact that Oga Obinna felt compelled to make his fears public speaks for the seriousness of the situation. Most people who receive threats would either ignore them or report them quickly to authorities, but when someone with the Obinna's platform decides to go public, it usually means that they believe the threat is credible and serious enough that public attention might offer some protection. The involvement of political elements adds another dimension to this story. ODM is one of Kenya's major political party, and any suggestion that its leaders might be involved in threatening a media personality is a serious matter that goes beyond entertainment news. It touches on issues of press freedom, freedom of expression, and safety of public figures who might express opinions that certain political interests find uncomfortable. What is particularly troubling is the alleged use of goons or hired individuals to carry out intimidation or violence. This kind of outsourced intimidation has unfortunately been a recurring theme in various African countries where political or business interests use unofficial channels to silence critics or rivals. If these allegations have any basis in truth, they represent a serious escalation in attempts to control media narratives and public opinion. As this story continues to develop, several things need to happen. First, law enforcement agencies need to take the reported threats seriously and conduct proper investigations. Whether the threats are real or fabricated, someone made them, and that person or persons need to be identified and held accountable. Second, the entertainment industry and media organizations need to look at how they can better protect their personalities from intimidation and threats. Third, the public need to remain vigilant about attempts to silence voices, whether through intimidation, violence, or other means. When we allow fear to dictate who can speak and what they can say, we all lose something important about our society's ability to have open discussion and debates. The story of Oga Obinna's alleged death threats is still unfolding, and many questions remain unanswered, but what is already clear is that this incident has exposed some uncomfortable truths about intersection of entertainment, politics, and personal safety in Kenya. What we can say with certainty is that Oga Obinna's tearful plea for help has resonated with millions of people who see him not just as an entertainer, but as someone who brings joy and positivity to their lives, and they are not willing to stand by silently while someone they care about lives in fear. The coming days and weeks will reveal whether their support, combined with the official protection, will be enough to keep Oga Obinna safe and allow him to continue doing what he does best, making people laugh and bringing communities together through entertainment.